McGarris with the FBI in Pensacola. How you doing?
Good. Your name's Alex McGarris?
No Garris, N-O-G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I won't take up too much of your time here. I'm not sure if you saw, but somebody had replied to your post about Pensacon and tagged the FBI in it, which is what brought it to our attention.
Good.
So we've been talking with the Pensacola PD, and I know that they were going to reach out to the Pensacon folks directly. But I was just wondering, how did you become aware of this, and what was that screenshot that you posted?
Oh, okay. So basically, there's something going on right now where an anime actor, an anime voice actor, okay, so he does animated cartoons, was fired from his job for his politics. And so there's this buzz going around the fandom community about this guy being fired. Now, one of his co-workers was going to appear at Pensacon, and the fans basically said, we're going to take this moment. When she gets on the stage, we're going to boo her. And because of that, the owner of the convention was going around Twitter threatening to have everyone who booed her arrested. And it was extremely strange. Now, I have a YouTube channel with 101,000 viewers on it, and so I make videos. I'm in the media of pop culture. So I made a video about it. I said, Pensacon is acting very, very funny right now. This is very odd. The owner reached out to me, and I was just reviewing his emails, which I'd be happy to turn over to you if you want. And he just said, let me see if I can find them again. He reached out to me to basically say, hey, I watched your video and it was full of lies and all this stuff and you don't know what's going on. And I kind of said, well, tell me what's going on and I'll tell more people. And he said, we received a bomb threat. And I said, well, let me have the bomb threat and I'll show more people. He turned the bomb threat over to me after he told me that it was in the hands of law enforcement. I expected him to say, no, I'm not going to do that. He gave me a picture of the bomb threat via the email, via my email here. And he said that Homeland Security was involved in tracking it. They have the IP address. He says, please do not share the bomb threat. It's in the hands of law enforcement and the IP address has been traced. They're working on this now. And I said, I'm showing everybody the bomb threat. That's, people should know about this. And if it really was in the hands of Homeland Security, you wouldn't have shown it to me. And then he went on and on about my personal politics. And it was, I said, this is a very odd discussion for you to be having with me when your event that's happening this weekend received a credible bomb threat. To be talking to me about my personal politics and being upset about Republicans and all this stuff is just very, very strange. Protect your event. And then he said, I am protecting my event. That's why I'm being publicly crucified. It was just an extremely strange exchange that I had with this guy. So I went ahead and I posted the bomb threat and said, everybody needs to know if you are going to this convention, this is what's going on right now. You're taking your lives into your hands. This is a very creepy situation that it's, not being made public. And that this guy would just hand it off to me like that. So that's the extent of my involvement in it. I expected that this was already in the hands of law enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to you this way, at least as of, Saturday? I think you put it up Saturday night or early Sunday. I mean, at least at that point, we were not, as far as I'm aware, we were not made aware of it. Neither myself nor the Pensacola Police Department.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. The Pensacon owner's name that you were who's that? Just so I'm specifically aware of who you're speaking of.
He said his name is Mike Ensley. Entley. Yeah, Entley.
Okay. So this is somebody that you don't know personally. You just sort of know from the community and through him doing Pensacon?
Yeah, it's the first I've heard of him, really. I've never been to Pensacon, but I did a quick Google search on him, and he's all over it. So, when it comes to Pensacon and this event, which apparently attracts 35,000 guests, it's a big show. People know who he is.
Gotcha. Okay. And what, when you guys had this exchange and he sent you this post, was that this past Saturday?
February 16th at 9:24 p.m. Yeah, that was when our conversation began. He sent me the post at 10:30 p.m. February 16th.
Okay. At 10:30 p.m. Okay. And what time zone are you in?
I'm Eastern Standard. I'm up in New Jersey.
Oh, you're up in Jersey. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay. So have you talked to Mike again since you posted this stuff on Twitter? Has he reached out to you at all?
No, he hasn't. I got a really weird feeling about the whole thing, and I kind of just said my job is going to be to tell people about this and on my YouTube, and then back the hell off because
Yeah.
it's a little weird.
Right. Okay. And I'm sorry. One other thing. Did Mike tell you when they received that threat?
Let me see here. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I'll read you what he sent me. He said he got my name wrong. He called me Evan. He said we were alerted to your recent tweets, and we'd like to set the record straight. Here is the only statement we received, and then there's a quote. Please note, we don't do victim shaming at Pensacon, and as stated before, we don't tolerate harassment. We're committed to everyone's safety. If you harass a guest, you will be escorted from the building by law enforcement. If you choose to resist, you will be arrested. This is about booing one of the guests. There is zero tolerance of this type of behavior. If this is something you cannot abide by, we don't want your business. And then he talks to me. He says, as you can see, we said nothing about anyone wearing t-shirts, suppressing free speech, etc. What has happened is what you refer to as media are in fact alt-right trolls who have been threatening Monica, both to come to assault her verbally and physically. As you can see, we will not tolerate this, and so law enforcement is involved. Now, since one of these people decided to mention a bomb, Homeland Security is involved as well. The Twitter user, see how casual this is? The Twitter user we had an exchange with, whose comments have conveniently been edited out of these alt-right blogs and videos, was trying to organize people to harass Monica Rial at our show, and when we called him on it, let us know that people aren't harassing her if they don't physically attack her. We, and law enforcement, disagree. People seem to think that we are some kind of small convention. We are not. We have over 35,000 attendees, and the entire community is involved in this event. We are nothing but positive in how we treat everyone, and we expect the same. They seem to think that if they show up and cause trouble, we will need to call the police, but the police will already be there to deal with any situation. Also, as far as accusing anyone, we haven't, although I would suggest that you read the statement issued by the accused on February, I don't know what he's talking about, where he says he is entering counseling for inappropriate actions. Thanks for sharing a biased alt-right goon squad hit job. This is a video I made about his... for someone who always tries to say you're not a name caller or a part of the movement, you sure seem like you're in bed with them. Have a good night. Never heard of this guy before. Never spoke with him. This is the message I got from him. So the bomb threat obviously stood out to me, and I asked him to see the bomb threat, and he sent it right over.
Okay. All right. Okay. Has anybody else reached out to you regarding this, either law enforcement or fans, folks in the community? I don't just mean like a lot of your comments. I mean, like, has anybody else reached out to you, either knowing some background on this or anything else?
No, I've people all were surprised. First of all, no, you're the first law enforcement that I heard from, and I was kind of expecting to hear from you guys. I haven't heard from anyone else except to express shock, dismay, worry, fear over this situation, and a lot of people saying, why wasn't this made public before? I was going to bring my kids. That is correct.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what actions Mike, the Pentagon folks were taking. I mean, I do know that in general there is a lot of security at the event, and the PD in particular, works very hard at keeping this thing safe. So I'm not really sure if Pentagon had reached out to law enforcement or not regarding this thing. Like I said, it wasn't until somebody tagged us in a reply to you that it was sort of brought to our attention directly.
Yeah, that's great. I wasn't sure if he was being honest that Homeland Security, I don't know, is Homeland Security connected with you guys in some way? Would you know if they were involved in investigating this? And
Yeah, I mean, if it Pensacola, yes, I probably would. I mean, I know all the folks that work over there. I mean, just to use sort of a little bit of background, my role here is I run the Joint Terrorism Task Force. I work like counterterrorism and threat stuff.
Yeah.
You know, bombing, threats, hoaxes, all that kind of stuff, which is why, this, was sent to me specifically. So, I mean, yeah, I would probably know if it was brought to Homeland Security attention. Sometimes, too, people do report stuff, and maybe it takes a couple days, for them to get back to him. I'm not really sure. I'll check with Homeland Security tomorrow and see if they get reported to them or not. But I know that I've already spoken with the police department here. They are, working on it as well, and dealing directly with the Pensacon folks over it. So,
Okay.
Is there anything else you can think of, details or whatever, that may be important that I need to know?
No, I'm kind of new to this situation. It fell into my lap as an interesting story simply because this convention was acting so strange. Fans saying I'm going to show up and boo this celebrity, that's perfectly normal. And for them to start talking about arresting people and throwing them in jail was weird and funny. So I made a video saying, look at this crazy convention right now. And that's when I received this interaction, and it got really, really serious and peculiar. And that's really all I know. I'm not planning on making another video unless there's more news about it. I'm kind of bowing out of this situation, but I will help in any way I can. And if I hear anything, I'll definitely call you.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. Well, listen, man. I mean, thanks for taking a few minutes now. I don't want to keep you any longer. But yeah, like I said, if you do hear of anything else, details-wise, that may sort of help us get to the bottom of this, or anything else that you think I might need to know, please feel free to give me a call.
I definitely will. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.